Hey everyone, I'm Danielle with Trinity Readings. We are going to do a February reading. This is going to be for Aquarius. So keep in mind these are general readings, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you find that the reading doesn't resonate, you can always check your moon rising or Venus placements because sometimes those will resonate more. And I do offer personal readings. You can get all of that information in the description box. All right, Aquarius, let's see what you guys have going on for the month of February. Something to keep in mind is now that we are in the transition of Pluto in Aquarius, and if I'm not mistaken, that's like a 30-year transit. I think it's a long transit. Keep in mind for you personally, Pluto represents the energy of transformation, of death and rebirth. And so that energy is going to affect you in the sense that you are probably going to be going through a lot of really significant major life changes. Probably over the next year, like the beginning of the transit, it will be the entire transit is a big change for you. Not that you're going to be suffering for the rest of your life or anything like that, but just keep in mind that you are in an energy of change and transformation. And so to try to ground in and get too secure with where you are, and to try to resist any change right now, it might be very detrimental to you. Any change that is happening or that you do come across is going to be for your benefit, is for the purpose of elevating you to a higher space, a better space, but you have to be willing to embrace the change that comes with that. And change, good or bad, is never a comfortable thing. All right, let's see what other messages are wanting to come through for you. Anything you need to be aware of for the month of February. Everything that you're seeing outside of you, when you look at anything, when you look at a person, when you look at a situation, the reality is what you are seeing is more based on your assumption and your beliefs and your ideals than anything else, than what is actually reality. In the same aspect, everything you're manifesting is a result of what your assumptions are, what your beliefs are. And so if you don't like what you're seeing in front of you, then you have to start, then it's not outside of you that's the problem. It's your assumptions, it's your beliefs. And so instead of challenging everything around you, start to look at your assumptions, start to look at your belief systems, and be willing to change and challenge that in a way to where you can create new stories and create new assumptions. Also, I feel like if you're stuck, if you're in the same routine, you're limiting your ability to see any sort of creative solutions. Um, if you look at the same thing day in and day out, then you're connecting yourself to the same story day in and day out. Have you ever seen that movie Groundhog Day? I hate that fucking movie with a passion, but that's the energy that you might be finding yourself in, that it's the same thing over and over and over again. It's the same problems day in and day out. But because it's the same routine and you're seeing the same thing over and over and over again, you're telling yourself the same story. You're believing the same thing. You're holding the same assumptions. And so with that, that's controlling your focus, and that's all you're going to be able to see. And so try to do something to break out of your routine. Your Aquarius energy, in all honesty, this should be, that is who you are, is the person that thinks outside of the box, that finds those creative solutions. And so in order to like embrace that side of you, do things that are outside of your comfort zone, do things differently, change up your daily routine, and even challenge your assumptions about situations and other people. I know that something that has happened for me in the last year is that my assumptions on how other people view me has been very challenged. I have held on to an assumption of how certain people in my life must see me or feel about me, and I've kind of just held on to that, and everything that comes towards me with those people, I'm fitting it into that story. But what I've kind of been shown this year is that has been challenged. And I have been shown that it wasn't really what I thought, that it was just my assumption. So my point in that is challenge your assumptions on situations. And yeah, if you want to shift the circumstances around you, you have to change what you are giving attention and energy to. And so if you're giving attention and energy to the same thing, then your ego mind is going to tell the same story over and over and over again. And that creative side of you that can create new things and new assumption is being blocked. All right, so anything else your guides want to say about this? Any other messages about your overall energy for the month of February? That love that you're wanting, that dream that you have, that fulfillment that you're looking for, it is literally right in front of you. But there is a need to cut away something from the past. There's a need to transform. There's a need to transform your mind space so you can get into the space of trust and receiving. The stories that you are telling yourself might be detrimental right now. I feel like you have set intentions for something. I feel like you've taken this very seriously. Like you've written down the intentions of what you want to manifest. You have looked into law of attraction. You have studied, how to manifest and done all of this, and you're preparing to kind of manifest your desires. You've put in a lot of work, but you're also like really pissed off. Like you're not seeing the change. You're feeling very threatened. You're feeling very attacked. You're seeing these things you want internally, but you're not seeing the things change outside of you. And you're also, when change is happening in your life, you're seeing it as a bad thing, but it's actually, a step to get to where you want. It's like you're feeling this energy of being pissed off that things are not working in your favor. It's like this perception that it's a lack of trust. Whether that be a lack of trust in yourself, a lack of trust in other people, a lack of trust in the person that you are dealing with specifically, or just a lack of trust in the universe. It's keeping you more in protective mode. Give me a little bit more on what this message is. Also, for some of you, you're keeping something a secret, or you're not you're not completely outwardly expressing something because you're waiting for something to show up, or you're waiting for whatever reason. You're not expressing. You're hiding an aspect of yourself in waiting for this thing to show up. But the reason that this thing is not showing up is because you're hiding the desire for it. You're hiding your desire for it. You think that you're just protecting yourself, and that what you want should be able to come towards you, but hiding it is the very thing that is preventing it from, or whatever aspect of yourself that you're withholding or hiding. And I'm not implying that this is like a manipulative thing, but like that you want a connection with someone, but you're not letting yourself show any vulnerability. You're playing a game, you're playing the game with this particular person. Like I have to kind of like act like I don't care. I have to act like I don't desire this person in order to draw them to me. It's like that's the very thing that's preventing it from coming towards you. Because you're on the right path. You have connected to something that is meant to be in your future. I do feel for a lot of you, this is a significant connection to another person. I feel like you're both kind of in a space where, like you're both in some aspect, you more specifically than the other person, of trying not to attach your happiness to that other person. And that's a good thing. But in the same sense, I feel like you might be kind of like trying to take it a little bit too far, like trying to, I'm good without you. I'm happy without you. Look how good everything in my life is going. And it's creating a separation where it's like you're acting like you're okay without this person. And I'm not saying that you need to act like you're not okay with this person. But it's like you're creating such a detachment that it's making it difficult to work together, to build something. But there is a solid relationship in front of you that has a lot of potential. But you're looking at it from the sidelines. You're still observing. You're still trying to figure out what may or may not be wrong. You're still trying to, you're still keeping some sort of distance from it in order to protect yourself. But the distance, again, is what is keeping it from manifesting. You're showing up as the Five of Cups, so you're feeling some sense of loss. You're feeling emotionally drained. You're feeling disconnected from something that you want. But if you notice in the Five of Cups, he's looking at the 3 cups that have spilled. And so 3 cups to me represents like connection overall, right? It could also represent like third party energy, but it's like to me, it always feels like you're seeing loss from experiences in your past, from people that you've connected to in the past, but you're not seeing the Two of Cups behind you. The soulmate connection is right there. You're looking at the loss, or fearing a loss, and it's making it difficult to see the potential. And it's blocking your creative ability. It's blocking the passion. It's blocking the excitement. It's blocking the potential for something new to come in. It's blocking the potential for change. Nine of Wands, because you've been hurt, you've been wounded, you're in battle mode, you're battle ready, you're trying to protect your heart while asking for love at the same time. You can't put up a wall and expect love to break through that wall. Love is an energy that flows. It's not an energy that fights. Love is not fight, right? I'm such a dork. I'm sorry. It might help for you to look at your Chiron placement. Your Chiron placement, is going to show you like where you are going to feel most sensitive, the most sensitive wounds and fears and pains that you have. But it's also the placement that you have to work through in order to grow, in order to evolve. So take a minute to kind of look at what your Chiron placement is, and that will help you to see what wounds are being triggered and how to work through that. For example, if you were born in like the 70s, then your Chiron is in Aries, and that means your wound is in your sense of self, in the value that you see in yourself. It means that you have a tendency to not see enough value in yourself and not assert enough boundaries and not feel confident in asserting yourself. If you were born in the 80s, you likely have your Chiron in Gemini. And Gemini is the wound of words. So you feel insecure when it comes to communicating, to expressing yourself. And so again, anything you have a wound around, you also have a fear around. And so the more you expose yourself to those fears, the more you face those fears, the more those fears become your power. Yeah, you see something that you want. You are connected to something that you want. I kind of feel like for some of you, you feel like you have recently kind of like exposed yourself, like put yourself out there, made yourself vulnerable. And you might feel like you got hurt because of that. And so you're feeling like you've lost something, but you're not seeing how much potential this might just be for some of you. And this also came out in the collective reading that I just posted. You might have connected to somebody in the last maybe 5 years, maybe even a little bit more, but you might have connected to somebody that you really felt a connection to this person. You really felt like this was the ultimate, this was, the soulmate relationship you were looking for. And you might have felt that there was some kind of interference with that, like you met this person at the wrong time, that they were in another relationship or you were in a relationship or something like that. You might have even felt like this relationship became a friendship and it didn't grow into the romantic thing that you wanted. And you might feel like there's there's nothing more. But I feel like because you're focusing so much on being upset that this did not go where you initially wanted it to go, you're missing like how much has grown within this, um and how valuable this time has been. And in the same aspect, like there still seems to be a lot of potential in this. But I feel like something has happened to you recently where it's like you put yourself out there, you had faith in something, and you were triggered, something happened where you felt like you lost it, and so you're automatically like putting this wall around, you're automatically putting boundaries around. You might even be in the space where you're saying this person has to come to me and show me, they're going to have to break through my walls. And I feel like again that might be too severe of boundaries because you're so upset. And again, look at this 4 of Cups, still looking at those 3 of Cups and not seeing the potential that's in front of him. You expected something to move in a very particular way, and you're still expecting it to move in this certain particular way, and because it's not, you're upset. You're not happy. And you have every right not to be happy. You're not where you want to be. That's not a bad thing, but where you're focusing is preventing you from seeing the potential in front of you. It also might be there's something that you're wanting and you feel like there's competition around it. And because of the competition, or because it requires some sort of change, or because you're not sure if you and this person are on the same page, you are fearful that you might not succeed or that this might not come to fruition. And so you might be avoiding that conflict altogether. The outcome is 7 of Cups, 8 of Wands, Death card. You're being pushed to explore the possibility, to really dig into your emotions, to remind yourself that all is not lost, that there's much more available to you, and tuning into your desires, giving yourself permission to desire the things you want. What is that? Desire becomes surrender, surrender becomes power. Like surrendering to your desire, giving yourself permission to want the things that you want without fear is what is going to initiate the shift and the change that you're looking for. Your guidance is King of Cups. Honor your feelings. Honor your emotional health, your emotional well-being. Your emotional well-being and your emotional groundedness and stability and your ability to feel emotions and honor those emotions is just as important in manifesting something as the practical side of it, as the where your energy is, your confidence, your focus. Your emotions are just as important as the physical things that you do. And I'm also hearing you need to admit that you love this person regardless. Love does not require anything back. Unconditional love does not need that love to be returned in order for it to be real love. You know what I mean? We don't ever give ourselves permission to feel love. It's so silly. I'm not going to love you unless you love me back exactly the way I need you to love me back. I'm not going to love you unless you commit to me. I'm going to tell you that I love you. I'm going to tell you that you're the most beautiful person in the world that I have ever seen. And I've never loved anyone as much as you. But the minute you don't move in the way that I want you to move, I'm going to withhold my love. I'm going to tell myself that it's stupid to feel love. I mean, isn't that fucking ridiculous? We don't love other people because they're not moving the same way that we think that you're supposed to move. We you know, you don't have to tolerate bad behavior. You know, you don't have to remain in, connections that are draining you, but you also don't take away your love or say I no longer love. I don't love you because you're not doing things the We're all so silly, aren't we? Don't say you love someone unconditionally. If you say you love someone unconditionally and the next day they decided that they were in love with somebody else, and you at that moment hated them and decided you didn't love them anymore, then you don't love them unconditionally. Don't pray for unconditional love if you're not willing to love somebody regardless of the conditions that they give to you, regardless of what requirements they meet. And again, I'm not saying that you just love everybody and give everybody everything of you, even if it's killing you. Respect yourself, but that doesn't mean you get rid of your love for people, What you're not seeing is Three of Wands. You are in a period of growth. You are in a period of moving forward. What you asked for is on its way to you. But if you get too heavily in this Emperor protective space, if you get too focused on the things that are not working, you're missing the opportunity for this to come towards you. The Queen of Wands is telling you to embrace your desires. Embracing your desires, giving yourself permission to desire something, even if there is a risk of failure. You activate your power, and not just an aggressive power, but your power to create and draw things to you. Embrace your desires. Embrace your creative side by giving yourself permission to want the things that you want regardless, to love the things you want to love regardless. You open up the creative potential where you see that anything is possible. All right. Love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful month.